Okay, so it is now Sunday and back to working on the IT175. Still got the carburetor off, never threw it on yet. Not a hell of a lot really going on today. Anyway, going to toss on the carburetor. I'm going to, I guess, give it a shot of Start You Bastard, make sure she still fires. After that, I'm going to pull off that gas tank, switch it out for the spare one, which is buried in there. I started going through all my spare parts. I'm pretty sure I got a throttle cable that's going to fit it and a throttle tube, but my throttle mechanism, which is right there, is still kind of cracked. So basically I'll be able to toss it on temporary, but it's not going to be safe to drive just until I order the proper one. So again, there's that Bridgestone tire that's on there, Motocross M404. I think it's a 100 by, it's, okay, so 110, 118. So it's a pretty freaking wide tire for this machine. Factory I think is a 90 if I remember right. I can't even remember. Anyway, I'll toss on the carburetor real quick and see if I can spark her up real quick. Sweet. Okay, so I got the carburetor on, throttle cable just dangling. This is going to be the first Start You Bastard start, I could say, and I actually have to check my YouTube videos when it ran. I think a year and a half. I know all last summer I never had it running. Pulling this, going to give it just a quick shot. That looked like more air than anything. I always let it sit for a few seconds just in case. Well, she fired there. One more. And I guess that's everything that's in it. I don't want to do... First shot again was mostly air. So I'm going to let that sit for a few seconds again. Move the camera to the other side of it. And give her one more quick kick. I don't want to do this more than this time because again, it's never, you know, good without proper oiling. And that's everything again. Like I said, that Start You Bastard can's pretty much empty, so a lot of air was getting shot into it. So anyway, I guess I'll start reassembling the rest of it, and of course pulling off that dirty tank full of gas. Sweet. Okay, so I actually decided before I put on the airbox and everything, I'm going to pull off the seat, gas tank. I'm even going to pull off this cracked up piece of crap fender and sandblast it. I know that might sound funny, but I'm going to sandblast it and give it a coat of bed liner. It is already cracked, destroyed, but anything's going to look better than what it looks like now. I might not paint it, see how it looks after a sandblasting. So anyway, believe it or not, this entire frame, I guess 10 years ago I had this bike right down to the frame, and in my opinion it's actually holding up pretty nice, this paint. So I'm not sure how good that's showing up, but I had this down to the bare metal, this entire machine. Everything taken out. Actually, I think I left in the rear shock, and I just removed it here. So the shock I think I left in because that top bolt was a pain in the butt, and at the time I never had an air hammer or anything to push it through. So yeah, that paint's holding up pretty good in my opinion. So anyway, pulling off the seat, gas tank, and I'll go from there. Well, the seat's still in nice shape. You can see I bottomed it out a few times there, kind of weakened the internal structure, I guess, of it, but that's because my fat ass going over jumps. A little bit of wear marks on the back there, but that's nothing yet. So again, for a seat cover that's well over 10 years old, that's just been sitting outside, I think that's, yeah, I think that actually did pretty good. So again, certain things that were done on this bike needs to be done again. Oh, look at that, spider webs. So look at these bushings here. Believe it or not, these bushings here that are falling apart in my fingers here, I replaced all these rubber bushings 10 years ago. So same with this one here. This one here is just falling apart, and that's original Yamaha parts, but you know, stuff like that doesn't last forever. If I remember right, this was a new old stock CDI unit that I installed. This rubber here was brand new. Literally every little thing that could be done on this bike was changed. Swing arm bushings, they were all done actually 2 years ago when I put on this tire. The few things that I still had to do on it, like find the rear fender. This muffler silencer I was going to actually remove. So I was going to remove the silencer, so I didn't really do much with that. Oh, look at that, it looks like my tires actually hit it once. It actually has a slice almost through there. I was going to replace that silencer with an aftermarket one. Chain sprocket, all kinds of stuff done to it. But again, sitting so long, I got to redo all the stuff that I already did. So yeah, it kind of sucks. But that's why if you're going to spend $3,000 on redoing a dirt bike, don't let it sit outside for 10 years. Anyway, guess I'll pull off this rubber. Just 2 screws on each side here to remove the tank. I'll pop that off and then I'll check out everything else. So just dust here, but underneath the dust everything looks still nice and clean, so should really polish it up and give it a good cleaning, but I don't know. Okay, so I got the tank loose here, got my 2 screws, bolts from each side, and then it just lifts up. Holy, this is no doubt at least 3/4 full. So yeah, that's another thing. Don't store dirt bikes with gas in them for more than 2 years. That is very, very bad. So you can see underneath here, it's still very nice and clean looking, besides the dust, which that was just a sticky spot there, but got all the tank rubbers here. I think there was another one that actually used to go on here. I have to check. Or maybe I actually sat here. So again, this here, I bought this brand new because the old one was dry rotted. This one here is just standard foam that I got from work, so it looks pretty close to what came on them originally. You can see in here my exhaust. Get the camera down in here. The exhaust rubber right in here, you can see it's all cracked apart. I bought this brand new and this was like 27 bucks, and you can see it's all rotten already. So that's kind of a piss off. So anyway, got the tank off. Maybe I'll load it up on my truck and go give it a wash, because man, it needs it. So sweet. Okay, so I just decided I am going to actually pull off the exhaust, because last time I had it running, I remember I had an exhaust donut leak, which is because I had the motor out and I used the same donut again. That's after I rebuilt it and I pulled the motor out. Notice my clutch is very soft, so chances are it might be sticking inside. I'll have to find out once I get it running. It's another thing I actually did just 2 years ago, if that's showing up. Chain tensioner, that's a brand new chain tensioner. So end chain roller on the swing arm is new. Pretty much everything on this bike was new, some of it older. Like the front brake cable, which is removed right now, it shattered. It like broke right where it soldered onto the end. Again, that was a brand new cable 10 years ago. So you can see that I did paint the front forks. They are painted, but you can see it's wearing off over the years. Back when I painted it, I can't remember what paint I used, but I thought black looked better than silver. My original plans were for this bike was to paint it red and black, and the fenders I was going to get aftermarket red ones. Yeah, I know, I wasn't going to keep it original back then. So I painted the forks black and the trees red. So you can see now, after sitting for 10 years, you can see right there that it's all starting to chip and peel off. So that's because I never prepped them proper back then. I just gave them a light wet sanding and then painted over it. So again, that's over 10 years ago. So maybe I'll actually pull off those trees for the half an hour that it might take. Actually, might take an hour because, you know. Anyway, I'll pull them off. Maybe I'll sandblast them and paint them up black. I got some of that Rust-Oleum hard hat paint right there, which works great for almost anything that needs to be durable. I got more than enough of that black paint left. Maybe I'll even, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. So anyway, I'm going to pull off the side cover here. I'm going to pull off the exhaust, and I'm going to fix the exhaust O-ring and just do a general inspection on it. So again, the reason why this has a bunch of washers in here, because I never had plans to keep this exhaust silencer. I always wanted to buy an aftermarket one. So Anyway, going to go in, eat some supper, and I'll make a little bit of an update video as I go along with this antique. Sweet. Okay, so now I'm going to have a little bit of fun. Not quite. Anyway, I got boxes and boxes of parts for this machine. No joke. I probably have $1,000 worth of brand new parts, all in boxes, scattered everywhere. Some of them are as simple as being in that box right there. Some of them are in those bins there. Some of them are up there. Some of them are outside in the shed. Some of them are in the basement. Some of them are in my bedroom. Some of them are in the gun room. I got parts freaking everywhere. And some of them are even at buddies' houses. So anyway, I'm going to gather all my spare parts. I'm going to put them all on the floor. And I'm going to kind of inventory what I have and what I don't have. Because it's kind of nice to know what I have for spare parts. So, yeah, this is going to take a couple hours. I got some parts in the shed. Those might take a little bit more. And I even got parts outside buried in the snowbank. So, and I used to have an entire parts machine, but I recently sold it. I kept the parts and sold some parts off it. But anyway, I guess I'll start hauling the boxes and hundreds of pounds of spare parts outside. Sweet. Oh, look at that. That's what everyone wanted to see. An LT500 sighting. Anyway, motor's in there for it. But now here's a whole pile more of parts for the bike. Yeah, this is the old workroom where I used to work on it. Boxes and boxes and boxes of brand new OEM parts here. Some spare engine parts there. A couple spare cylinders. You count the crankcases there. Random cables. Butterfly knife. Anyway, there's all kinds of other stuff in the boxes here and bins and around the corner, so time to go through it all and try to dig up what's for the IT. I got a complete piston assembly there, brand new. I got I think altogether 8 crankshafts, all good. Holy crap, way too much shit for this machine. Okay, so this is all the spare IT175 parts that I have for sale right now. Yeah, you can see that actually there's quite a bit. Even some new parts at the end. Seat right there is not included. That seat's not included, and neither is any of that stuff. This tank I'm most likely keeping, and that one will be for sale. That one needs a little bit of a repair on it. That's why I'm going to be keeping that one. But anyway, I just thought I'd kind of do a video here to show all the parts. I'm not going to go over them. I'm not going to list them. This is just all the spare parts that I gathered over the years of working on it. So, kind of give a zoom in here. All those cranks are good. None of them need rebuilds. They're all good. That cylinder there is pretty decent. This one here is good. I got the piston somewhere for this one and that one. I just have to look. Actually, they're probably the one on there, I think, is for that. Nope, the one for that cylinder's in that box. And the one for that cylinder is probably the one on that crank right there. Have to double check. Yeah, I'm just going to kind of glance over the parts here. Carburetor. This complete bottom end, missing the clutch, of course, and the stator. Lots of spare cases here. That one there has a brand new side cover. That one there, yeah, that one is a used side. That's all used. How about this? Unless I say it's new, it's used. Now this here is brand new, that cover. So you can see there's no serial number stamped in it. Same with the one right beside it. So the IT175s were bad for those cases popping. Okay, starting here, I got a new throttle tube, new gas cap, new tail light, throttle cable. Yeah, that's the throttle cable. That is new, but it's dirty looking. I got some headlight dampeners. I got a set of them. I got another one right there. I got a clutch cable, throttle cable, tack cable, front brake cable, another throttle cable. I got like 3 throttle cables, some spare gaskets there. brakes, more gaskets. That's a stainless steel bolt kit, more gaskets, all kinds of bearings, seals, bushings, pretty much everything. That's crank bearings. Basically, this is all Yamaha parts here that I need to rebuild this engine right here, which is for those cases, which has the brand new case that is from it. Cylinder piston is okay, but it should be bored out. So that's all pretty much from that engine, which is in the box, and that's why I ordered all these parts. I got everything here to rebuild the crank, even though the crank is actually good on it. They're all buried up in there somewhere, so I'll kind of zoom in, go over it. If anyone cares to catch the part numbers, good luck trying. If you want, I mean. And of course, there's even more parts that I have buried throughout the garage here. In there, there's a bunch more parts buried. Got a bunch more parts up in there, I think, and their parts are everywhere. How's that? So, but anyway, I just thought I'd go through it. The reason why I went through it is I was trying to find a throttle cable, and I got 4 of them. So yeah, throttle cable for my bike. That's the one that I'm working on right now, and this is pretty much all my spare parts. So anyway, just thought I'd make a video showing my spare parts. If anyone's interested in any parts, let me know. I might be putting this engine together and selling it as a rebuilt motor. I already built quite a few of them and sold a few of them. So, but anyway, lots of clutch covers. So there's a lot more parts than you see right here. So this is just what I had time to dig up right now. So anyway. Yeah. Anyway, I guess I'll get back to working on this machine. Just thought I'd throw this in. So I started looking at the parts here, and I'm missing almost the complete guts out of 2 engines. And I'm also missing 1 cylinder head and cylinder. I'm missing a couple, I'm missing quite a bit still. So I have to at least have another 2 engines worth of parts, not counting the cases, somewhere in my hoard pile. But yeah. That kind of sucks. Have to continue digging, I guess. Fun.
This would be like teaching calculus.
Okay, so I just went through my hoard pile, and these are all the parts that I found that I'm going to be putting onto that bike. So a lot of this I forgot that I even bought over the years, and of course I got the good gas tank right there. That's when I came on it that leaks at the bottom because it's split. My air filter and a bunch of other random parts just buried up there. So anyway, I got a new front brake cable here that I didn't even know I had. So that's a bonus. I got the new throttle cable, or new tack cable here for the speedometer, I mean. I got a headlight bulb that I forgot that I even bought. I have a new taillight assembly, which I forgot that I bought. I have a new throttle tube, which I kind of remember buying. Piece of brand new piece of fuel line that I had up buried. Exhaust gasket right here. Airbox gasket right here. Headlight assembly, which this bike here does not have a headlight assembly, and I bought it that way, so I actually have 2. I got the bulb here, and I got the complete assembly. That came off the parts bike I just sold. This one here I bought off eBay. The bottom skid plate, which I believe actually came on this bike, I just never installed it yet, so I'm going to be installing that again. I just got to clean it up. I got a brand new gas cap. I got the rubber right there, which if I remember right, I used to go right along on top here. So I gotta remember, I had this in my parts bin here. I'm sure of it, if I remember right, that just goes right on top of there. So it's just like a cover. I got my fork gaiters, which are original from the bike. They are cracked up, but saves me having to buy used ones. I just found I had a spare control here for the high and low, and believe it or not, I need it now because that one got broken in storage. So, so yeah, and a complete spare wiring harness, which I'm going to see which one's in best shape. Again, my throttle cable, that's for the little bracket right there, is for the hose for the fuel. So anyway, that saves me quite a bit of money having to order all those parts on eBay. So anyway, I'm going to leave this video for today. I'm going to upload it the way it is. And the next video, I'll be reassembling it and hopefully have it going. Sweet.